Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? Welcome along to a massive doubleheader here tonight of BBL action. Looking forward to it because two absolutely cracking contests. Starting with the Sydney Sixers versus the Perth Scorchers. Pretty much a must-win game here for the Scorchers. They do have opportunity, if they do lose, to make the finals, but to make things a lot easier on themselves, an absolute must-win here this evening. Gina Ferricini, ahoy there, over on the YouTube chat. Wasted World of Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. And I see Simon, number one, the GOAT there, and Josh Turner jumping into the TikTok chat. There's Jake. Welcome along as we get ready for this big doubleheader of BBL action. God, what's going on with the lights here? The lights are wreaking havoc with my green screen as well. I feel like half my face is cut off. Anyway, Simon, the number one GOAT, says that Tim David played very well last night. Yes, he did. 100%. I'm really disturbed by this green screen. What's going on with it tonight? It's definitely cutting off my hair. Yeah, look at that. Okay. There's something horribly wrong with my green screen tonight. I'm holding my hair out to the side of my head, and it looks like magic. Okay, so pretty much half my head's being chopped off on the green screen, but that's okay. I mean, let's be honest, we're just here for the commentary anyway, aren't we? We're here for the voice. Doesn't really matter that half my face is hanging off. The Perth Scorchers have won the bat flip, and they have elected to field first. Now, the talk amongst the experts is that that was probably the wrong call, so it will be interesting to see. Now, I have tipped the Perth Scorchers for this one, and I'll tell you my reason why. Honestly, this was a flip of the coin, this game. Two teams going to be very desperate to win. The Sydney Sixers do not want to lose twice in a row, and for the Perth Scorchers, they pretty much have to win, as I said earlier. So my reason for going with the Scorchers is I'm on top of the Wasted Water Sports BBL tipping league, and I could play it safe and tip with the majority and go with the Sixers and stay there, but I like to live dangerously. So I've gone for the upset here. Upset. I still think this is a real flip of the coin game. Anyway, Paddy Conroy, ahoy there, mate. I have to back the team. Majority of the time, I will back the team who's won the bat flip and elects to field first. And that's certainly the case here. We'll see how it goes. Will it work out for the Perth Scorchers? Steve Smith is back for the Sydney Sixers. So in terms of my multi, I think Josh Philippe for 10-plus runs, Enriquez for 10-plus runs, and I've got Richardson and Jhye as the wicket takers for the Perth Scorchers there. Counting down for the first ball. And I'm assuming it's Richardson, and it is Richardson. Charging in to bowl the first ball here. Philippe on strike. He's on target immediately, but Philippe turns it square of the wicket on the leg side for one run. Jake, I'm pretty sure that this one is a KO Sports exclusive. A KO exclusive, this one, I believe. Barry Kane, ahoy, mate. And the umpires are already looking at the ball. Oh, you know what they're doing. After one delivery, they're already looking at the ball. They're making sure that, Steve Smith's back. I think you know what I'm implying here. Steve Smith's first game back in the BBL. And the umpires are all across this ball. Just saying. I'm just saying. Not that he would be using sandpaper while he's batting. Of course, that would just be ridiculous. Nicole Payne, ahoy there. How are you doing? So it seems like, for whatever reason, a little bit of a chunk has been taken out of the ball. Like a little bit of flap of skin. Up the NRL. Ahoy there. Okay, a couple of questions early on while this ball gets examined about my prediction. So I think this was a true flip of the coin, this one. True flip of the coin. And I've gone for the Scorchers. I've tipped the Scorchers just because they won the bat flip and elected to bowl first. And teams, more often than not, win when they win the bat flip and decide to bowl first. It's not a guarantee, of course. Otherwise, that would be boring. But Steve Smith faces his first ball, and he's off the mark immediately. So, yeah, my reasoning is not a solid one at all, going for the Scorchers. It's just a mere feeling. I'm on top of the Waste of Water Sports Tipping League. And so, as I was saying at the start, I could play the safe game, choose with the majority and pick the Sixers, and stay there, guarantee myself to stay on top. Or I could live dangerously and pick the Scorchers, and that's exactly what I've done. Smith might have a sandpaper bat. There you go. But it could be, but again, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, would it? To sandpaper up the ball while the opposition are bowling. It was a fantastic joke for us, but probably not all that well thought out. Up the heat. Yes, this one should be a very good game. I'm really looking forward to. Honestly, when I said at the top a flip of the coin, I really meant it. This game could go absolutely either way. And it could just be a Steve Smith, a Josh Philippe, a Cooper Connolly. It could just be one person that stands up and swings the game in favour of their team as Richardson's bowled a no ball. So this is a free hit. It's full and turned away off the pads from Smith. Well, that's just batting practice. Down to the fine leg boundary for 4. It doesn't get any easier than that for Steve Smith. Ball delivery on the pads, and he puts it away. Christian 815. Strikers are cooked. Do you want to know why? I would love to know why, because I actually think they might win tonight. Smith looks to pull this away, doesn't get hold of it. And a much-needed dot ball, the first one of the night for Jhye Richardson. Oh, sorry, Sixers are cooked. I thought you said strikers. My apologies. Sixers are cooked. Yes, I absolutely want to know why. Who is winning the derby tomorrow? I hope the Melbourne Stars, to be perfectly honest. Richardson in again. Beautiful line and length. Smith can only fend it away to the offside. Dot ball. 2 in a row. 2 dot balls in a row. Mads, you're surprised that Sam Constas got out so early last night? Yes and no. I think, honestly, it's very difficult to come back from the test arena straight into a T20. Somebody like Steve Smith, a very experienced campaigner, will probably make it look very easy. But for a young fellow like Constas, as Smith drills this to the offside through point and cover, and they come back for an easy 2. 10 runs off the first over. A great start for the home side after being sent into bat. A potentially questionable call there from the Scorchers. But a good first over. I think the new call-ups for Australia are probably a little overdue. One criticism, I think, has long been the case for Australian cricket, is they develop a winning team. They're very capable of developing an unbeatable cricket team, but when they get that team, they don't seem to think about the future. That's been my one criticism for a long, long time. They don't take opportunities all that often against lesser nations to filter in young blood and prepare for that next generation to come through when the other guys retire. And so I think it's good that they've thrown a few of them in for this upcoming tour. Behrendorff into the attack. Philippi on strike. Drifts onto the pads. Easy to turn that away off the hips. 2 more runs to the tally. So Christian 815 is saying they're losing all their best players since the test team have to leave just when the finals start. And that has long been an issue for the Sydney Sixers, hasn't it? Their team is stacked with representative players. That can be difficult to overcome. Neutralizer, ahoy, mate. Yeah, catch you later, Gina Ferracini. Enjoy your work. Behrendorff with a 2 and a dot to begin with. A slower ball. Buller pitched. Philippi drives it in the air, just short of mid-on. Who do we think is winning after this match, Brisbane or Adelaide? I'm a Brisbane Heat supporter, so I hope the Brisbane Heat. I've just got a terrible, terrible feeling that the Adelaide Strikers, in a must-win game, and you know who's going to do it? Chris Lynn, the son of a bitch. Anyway, Philippi ramps this one over the top of the keeper's head for 4. A beautiful shot, and they've started well here, the home team, the Sixers. None for 17 off 1.4 overs. Sixers for the win, says Neutralizer, and then Brisbane Heat for the next game. Behrendorff drops this one back a little bit, shorter pitched. Philippi turns it square on the leg side for a dot ball. Good start here for the Sixers still, nonetheless. Dot balls are at a minimum. Sydney Swans 13. Ahoy there, mates. Yeah, I'm on Foxtel. End of the over, none for 16. A better one for the Scorchers. None for 6 for Behrendorff. If Marsh plays good this game, can he get a call up again? No, I think he's done. Mitch Marsh, I do believe, is done. Forever. Yep. Forever. I think they've officially moved on to other options for all-rounder. Jhye Richardson back into the attack. Smith goes for the ramp, falls over on his ass as he tries to play this one away. And it's through to the keeper. Dot ball. A crucial dot ball. He's filthy with himself here, Stephen Smith. Well, he should have tried to play a traditional cricket shot. We all know what we think about ramps here. And a better start to the over this time for Richardson. Has a big slash of this, Smith, and races through for a single. So the average score batting first in the past 10 games at the SCG, 158. The 158, that will be the par score. The Scorchers will be looking to keep them under that. James Vince has left the Sixers. Will that affect them? I'm sure it will. An amazing player. I've never understood, and the Brisbane Heat have been guilty of this for a long time as well. I don't understand why sign players if they're not going to be available the whole time. The Brisbane Heat have always done that. None for 17 here. Richardson starts this over well. A dot, a single, and another dot. Can he keep this momentum going for the Scorchers? Beautifully bowled right on that fourth stump, outside off. And Philippi just has to fend it away for another dot ball. Dylan, ahoy there, mate. Your team of the mighty Sixers. I'll tell you who's doing really well this season. Those Hobart Hurricanes. Those bloody Hobart Hurricanes, they're looking the goods. Philippi turns this one away through backward point. Just a single. Dylan, I've tipped the Scorchers in this one. But I'll tell you what, here's the only reason why. This was a true 50-50 game, I felt. This is going to be a really close game. I can feel it. So I'm currently on top of the Wasted World of Sports Big Bash Tipping League. I could tip the Sixers like everybody else did and play it safe and maintain top spot. Or I could live dangerously and I could go against the flow, tip against what everybody else has in a 50-50 game and try and extend my lead. So tactically, I've backed the Scorchers here with very little confidence to try and extend my lead in the Wasted World of Sports Tipping League. That's the only reason. It's a true flip of the coin. Under normal circumstances, I probably would have gone with the home side. Behrendorff back in for his second over, and the final one of the power play. They've managed to slow them down a little bit. Philippi, charges the ball. Slogs it back down the ground. One bounce to mid-on for a dot ball. Buried in. Ahoy, mate. Who'd I back for the Heat or the Strikers? I'm very, very superstitious. Very superstitious when it comes to my own team. And I've noticed that whenever I tip the Brisbane Heat, my team, whenever I tip them, they suck. Leading edge caught. That's the end of Philippi. Oh, he's gone for 9, the son of a bitch. I had Philippi in my multi for 10 plus, and he goes for 9. Well, that is the painful of all painful things right there. A leading edge straight to cover. And Philippi goes for 9. We needed him for 10. Ashton Agar takes it easily. And there's the first wicket down. And Dylan was literally just saying the Sixers' top order batters all depends how they play. And Josh Philippi has just thrown his wicket away. Unbelievable how many times that happens. It's not just the commentator's curse. Sometimes it's the chat room curse. And it certainly struck there for Josh Philippi and my multi. 9 runs. You wouldn't believe it, would you? $10 plus required, and he goes for 9. Oh, that's pain. That is the definition of pain right there. 1 for 18. The Scorchers have done really well to pull this back. The Sixers got off to a good start. But the Scorchers tighten things up. Reeled things back in their favour slightly. Let's get the odds. Behrendorff to Patterson. A leg by here, perhaps. Didn't seem like a whole lot of bat in it. But they come through for a single nonetheless. Runs off the bat or a leg by. All eyes on the umpire. I can tell you this. The Adelaide Strikers and the Brisbane Heat are locked at $1.90 each. The bookmakers cannot separate them. Behrendorff wide down the leg side, and Patterson nearly lifts it straight to the man at short fine leg. Dangerously close there. And they're starting to look a little bit nervy here, the Sydney Sixers batsmen. The Scorchers have become $1.72 favourites in this one. The Sydney Sixers have drifted out to $2.10. Smith back on strike. Charges. Gets an under edge that almost goes back onto the stumps. Through the keeper for no run. Just trying to change things up there a little bit, Smith. Behrendorff. Just the leg bye off this over. 5 balls gone. A wicket and a leg bye. A fuller ball, slower one, and Smith can't get it away. Another dot ball. What an over from Behrendorff. A wicket and just the 1 run from it. And no runs off the bat. There was a leg bye. He's 1 for 6 off 2 overs. The Sixers 1 for 19 after the power play. And it suddenly doesn't look so good. They were none for 16 after 2. None for 16 after the first 2 overs. They've ended the 4th over, the end of the power play, at 1 for 19. Boy, the Scorchers have really bowled well those last 2 overs. Can Ashton Agar keep the pressure on here? That is absolutely incredible, really, when you think about it like that. None for 16 after the first 2 overs. And after 4, they're now 1 for 19. That is unbelievable. Good bowling from the Scorchers. Frustrating the Sixers batsmen. And Agar starts perfectly on line. And a dot ball. Oh, he's happy with that, Ashton. Gave himself a little Barack Obama meme, not bad face. And a nod as he walked back to his mark. This time, Patterson guides it down fine. And racing back from the backward point position there to cut it off. Just the 2 runs. One for 21. Swing and a miss. Hits the pad. Huge appeal for LBW. Agar. He's frustrated with that. No thought of reviewing this, though. He's just gone straight back to his mark. Gets on with it here. Fires it in again. Pulled away from Patterson. 1 bounce to the man out there at deep square leg. The Thunder have the most dropped catches, which is 17. Yeah, wow. What an interesting stat. I wouldn't have expected that, to be perfectly honest. Agar bowling well. Smith scoops this one onto the leg side. In fairness, though, a dropped catches statistic can be a little bit misleading because it doesn't take into account the difficulty of those chances, right? A dropped catch is a dropped catch. It doesn't go down in the stats book as dropped tough chance, dropped sitter. You know what I mean? So it can be a little bit of a misleading statistic in that sense. Will Main, ahoy mate. How are we doing tonight? D1, Levi 5 says, come on, Scorchers. The Scorchers were my tip for the game tonight. Yeah, I'm doing good. Well, I'm trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with my green screen tonight. There must be I don't know whether it's the earlier starting time, so the natural light from outside is affecting the lights inside the studio, but there is a lot more of my head that's cut off by the green screen than normal. But as I said, I didn't worry about trying to figure it out because I'm sure that I'm positive no one's here to look at me. We're here for the commentary. We're here for the call and following along and enjoying the game. It really wouldn't matter if I had a face cam or not. But it is interesting. An earlier starting time, nothing at all different with my lights, but for some reason, Jhye starts with a dot ball. In for the second one. Slower ball, full pitched. Patterson turns it off the toes, and his back jams into the pitch as he takes that run, and he leaves it behind. But he was safely home anyway. Up the NRL, you need Marsh for 50 plus. Good Lord. Good luck with that. That is a bold, bold bet. But, hey, what do I know? My bet's gone already. I had Josh Philippe for 10 plus, and he got out for 9. Smith gives himself room, goes the ramp, almost picks out the fielder, and it gets a little bit of an off break on it. It spins away from the outfield, who overruns it, and it goes for 4. Jeez, it wasn't even really a ramp shot. It was just a little paddle. He stepped across the stumps, gave himself room, and a little paddle onto the leg side. And it is spun completely away from the poor old mate in the outfield. Had no chance there to react to that. Pat, ahoy. You're at the game currently. Very nice. Well bowled here from Jhye. He's made the adjustment nicely. Toothpick reckons the Sixers should win. I don't think it's that clean cut. This was a real flip of the coin. Real flip of the coin. Wide down the leg side. A massive wide from Jhye. And I'll have to bowl that one again. Christian, I go for the Brisbane Heat. That's my team. Simsy, what do I think Smith will score? I tell you what, he's 13 or 14. He is not looking incredibly comfortable. But, I mean, he's still good enough to score runs, whether he's comfortable or not. So, geez, if he gets into the 20s, he could go on for a big, big, big one. David Warner-esque, 80 or 90. But he needs to just calm down and give himself time to get settled. I feel like he's panicking a little bit at the moment. Well, not panicking, that's not the right word, but he's getting frustrated. He's getting frustrated with himself that he's struggling to get these balls away. So he just needs to temper his emotions a little bit here, and he could go on for a big, big score. Much like David Warner's been doing the past few innings. Patterson, right in the slot, lifts this one over the square leg fence for 6. And that's a lot more like it for the Sixers. They were none for 16 after the first 2 overs. They were 1 for 19 at the end of over 4, the end of the power play. They do need to start getting a little bit of a move along once again. A half volley right in the zone, right in the slot. And that is just bread and butter for any top order batsman. Patterson doesn't miss out. Ashton Agar back for his second over. 1 for 37. Smith, 14 or 15. Happy to just turn it away for a single. And that's what we were talking about. That's what he needs to do. Play the David Warner blueprint. Get your eye in. Get the big runs later in the innings. Play the anchor role. Right in the slot. That one for Patterson. That ball before. Agar draws the shot to the offside. Through the air, but no fielder there. Noah B. How many runs do the Sixers need to win? More than the opposition. 158 has been the average score batting first. The past few games here at the SCG, so they've got to go for at least that, right? Back for two more. For Steve Smith, moves to 17 of 17. It's 1 for 41. Agar doing his job at the moment. Just keeping that end tight now. That's a full ball. Was it too full? Yes, it was. It's been cut away from Smith. A full toss, and he wants a no ball as well. Complaining to the umpire. Steve Smith complaining to the umpires? Never. That would never happen. Steve Smith having polite words with the umpires here for a no ball above waist height, and he probably has a point there, to be fair. But they haven't been calling those, really, this season. Backs away, cuts it again, and they come back for two. Can't get it to the fence this time. 1 for 47. Getting their run rate back up towards 7 and over. Yeah, so 158. They've got to look for at least that, I reckon, especially with batsmen like Cooper Connolly. If he switches on, they could still chase down 158 pretty quickly. A single to finish the over, runs off every single delivery. And it's 1 for 48 after 7. Heat versus the Strikers coming up next. I've got a feeling the Strikers win that. I really do. But that's just a Brisbane Heat supporter who has been very, very hurt many, many times in the past. Every time I dare to start believing in my team, they let me down. So I'm expecting to be let down tonight. It's not the same Brisbane Heat team as last season, to state the obvious. And I just don't think they've got the goods this year. Cooper Connolly into the attack, and he starts with a dot ball. Connolly versus Smith. Yes, I want to see this. I am here for this battle. Drifting a little bit too far onto the pads on this occasion, though. Smith able to just turn it away for one. Mookie, ahoy, mate. How are you doing? Patterson goes for the big hit, gets the top edge. The man's out on the boundary. He's under it, takes the catch. What a take that is on the fence, and Patterson's on his way. Cooper Connolly has done the job. Gets the breakthrough. The catch taken right on the fence. Now that was a pressure situation. Patterson didn't get that cleanly. It still went that far. Centimeters inside the rope. Kept his composure, and the Sixers are 2 for 49 now. Banning on the boundary. Takes a very good catch. Smith is 25 of 22. And Moses Enriquez. Out to the crease now. The captain. The captain for the Sixers. I can't imagine that he'll do anything silly. And he'll just play an anchor role here, perhaps, and Steve Smith will start to take over. What we saw in that partnership before, Patterson was taking the chances and Smith was playing the anchor role. I would imagine that switches up a little bit now. What an over from Connolly, though, so far. 2 runs and a wicket from it. If he's not changing the game with the bat, he's changing it with the ball. Sensational player. And Smith just drives it back to the bowler. A dot ball. Yes, we're covering the next game as well, up the NRL. Floats this one up. Trying to lure Smith into a big hit. He's happy to just drive it down to long on for a single. And that's the end of Cooper Connolly's first. 1 for 3 of his first over. 2 for 51. Cooper Connolly getting the breakthrough, turning things in favour for his team. It'll be interesting to see what that does to the odds now. The Perth Scorchers were already slight favourites. What has that done for it now? Well, actually, they've drifted out on the back of that wicket. I should imagine what had happened was the Patterson-Smith partnership really brought things back in. And that's why the Scorchers are now 5 cents further out than they were before that first wicket. Jhye into bowl his second. He got tonked in his first over. A slower ball outside off. Smith cuts away at it and can't beat the infield. Two for 51 here. 6.24. Ever since the first 2 overs, that run rate has never quite kicked on here for the Sixers. Smith cuts this one over the top of point for 4. Just gave him too much room on this occasion. Smith was able to free up the arms and just lift it over the offside. Two for 55. Smith's the big wicket now, 30 off 26. If they can rip through him, it's a whole different complexion on this contest. And just a single here brings Enriquez back on strike. And a change to the field. Fine legs dropped back. Deep mid wickets come into the circle. So he won't be looking to drop this in too short. This will be a full ball, surely. Right in the zone, and Enriquez drives it down the ground. Over the top of mid-on for 4. Well, I don't understand that delivery at all. Not with the field changes that were made. Bringing deep mid-wicket into the circle and dropping fine leg back. You would have expected a full delivery. And he's just put it right in the arc. Poor bowling, quite frankly, is the only way to describe that. And again, right in the slot, Enriquez lifts this over the top, but didn't get all of it. Cooper Connolly's able to race back from mid-on. And keep it to just 2. This is poor bowling from Jhye. 11 off the over so far. None for 24 off his 1.5. And I tell you what, Jhye, as good a bowler as he can be, He's certainly not doing the job tonight. If they've got another option, I would be seriously considering not using him again. None for 24 off 1.5, and now pulled away. That's gone all the way. Big six, Enriquez. And Andrew Jhye has surely now been blasted out of the attack. If the Scorchers have any other option to turn to, I would turn to them. None for 30 off 2 overs. They have absolutely taken Jhye out to the woodshed and spanked the ever-loving crap out of him. 15 runs and over they've taken him for. 2 for 68, 9 overs gone. And things looking a lot nicer now for the Sixers. Well, straight into the attack goes Cooper Connolly. And Smith has launched it back in the air, straight at Connolly. It pops into the hand and out again. It's a dot ball, but he's hurt himself here, Connolly. Oh, it should have been taken. It was a tough chance, but he should have taken it. Smith charges down again. Gets it through the circle, but there's protection out there in the deep. Oh, what a wicket that would have been. Cooper Connolly caught and bowled. Steve Smith. It was in the air. He's whacked it straight back at him at chest height. Straight in and straight back out. A let-off for Smith. And Henriques cuts this one away. Out to deep backward point for 4. So let's not forget that. Let's remember that moment. Steve Smith dropped on 31. Floats it up again, Connolly. Henriques drives it down to long off for a single. This is a big partnership, this one. 8 and over gets them to that 157. Lifted back over the top of the bowler. Into the gap. Racing away over this outfield for 4. Fantastic shot there from Smith. Dropped on the first ball of this over. And Cooper Connolly has suddenly given up 10. This is the partnership. We talked about it at the top of the stream about how just one player could turn this game in favor of their side. It's a coin flip. Who's going to be the player? Cooper Connolly was so close to being that man. But it looks like it's Steve Smith's night tonight. Long way to go in this one, though, of course. It's 2 for 80 after 10 and 8 runs per over. 8 runs per over. Suddenly things are looking a lot better for the home side. After a sluggish, well, not a sluggish start, the first 2 overs were amazing. But they struggled after the first 2 overs, but they've definitely picked up the pace. Two for 80 after 10. Well and truly on target here to a more than competitive total. We could be in for a very, very good game. Sinclair Biff. Ahoy there. Ahoy there, Jasper, is it? Jasper. 2 for 80, end of the 10th over. Geez, do they call the power search? Well, you probably don't need to, honestly. I don't think they need to call the power search here with these two out there, Smith and Henriques. They're going at 8 to 10 and over on their own. They don't need the field up. Ashton Agar back into the attack. Yeah, I've got to say, with these two travelling along the way that they are, as Cooper Connolly's left the field. Cooper Connolly has left the field. He'll be getting that hand looked at. Cooper Connolly is a spin bowler, yes. Yeah, Steve Smith thumped that ball back at him hard for the dropped catch. So he's off for some treatment. Agar gets this one to skid on. Well fended away by Steve Smith, who's looking very comfortable out there now. Smith, 38 off 31. Swing and a miss. Well, just as I say that, Enriquez comes up with an air swing. And Agar has started with 2 dot balls. Top edge from Enriquez, just short of the man at backward point there. Three dot balls. This is a good over so far from Agar. A little bit wide on that one. Well fielded on the circle. The man at point cuts off the runs. Four dot balls to start. Enriquez lifts this over the top of mid-on. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and into the rope. A fantastic attempt at fielding that. But it's gone to the rope, and that breaks the shackles this over. Moses Enriquez goes 22 from 11. Final ball. Cut away to point. No run. So a good over despite that 1 boundary. Just 4 runs from it. It's 2 for 84. So this game is still very delicately poised here. I would say that if Enriquez and Smith start a power surge together, the Sixers will be huge favourites. They've got to start taking wickets, basically. I'd say the Sixers on top at the moment. If we consider 158 to be the par score, they're well on target for that. Spores into the attack. Smith drives him down the ground. 2 bounces and it rolls over the rope. And Stephen Smith taking straight to Spores here. And this could be a big over. This could be a big over. Turns him away for 2. Six runs off the first 2 deliveries. Smith moves to 44 off 33. They have got to break through this partnership. 8 and over gets them to 159. Still 10 and over, 177. Floats this one up. Smith happy to just turn it off the pads. Take the single. Smith goes to 45. What are the odds of Smith getting out on 49? Let's remember, Smith was dropped on 31. Spores, a full ball. Enriquez can't beat the circle. And it's a dot ball. A much-needed dot ball. But what they need even more than that is a wicket. The Scorchers under the pump here at the moment. Enriquez charges. and picks out the man there at long off. No, just the single. I almost said no run. Just the one. Smith, will he go for his 50 here with a big hit? Spores floats it up, lured him into it. Smith goes down the ground again for 4, and he moves to 49. Well, Spores has just been tonked out of the attack again. Surely. Well, that's 2 bowlers now that I've got the Scorchers unable to use. I think they probably don't have the option of replacing both of them. They're going to have to take their pick here. Who do we give an opportunity to? Because they desperately need to break this partnership. A loss here for the Scorchers would be devastating for their finals chances. Currently sitting in 5th. The Sydney Sixers are eyeing off top spot. They can afford to lose, the Sixers. Oh, the power surge is being called. It's power surge time. This will be the making or breaking of this innings. Jhye Richardson into bowl. The power surge has been called. Richardson to Enriquez. Right on the money to start off. And it's just a single. Steve Smith on 49. Looking to bring up his 50 here. In fine style. Dropped on 31. You can't afford to drop a batsman like Steve Smith. Here comes Richardson. Wide, outside off stump. Smith lets it go through. And lets the umpire take care of that one. And the umpire does take care of it. It's a wide. Richardson will have to do that one over. Looking for Steve Smith to bring up his 50 here. Richardson in again. Wide again outside of stump. Smith cuts it away. And it beats the man at point. There's the 50. Steve Smith gets his 50. And it's the first boundary of the power surge. He was dropped on 31. And he's gone on to make them pay. It was a tough chance. But a chance nonetheless. Cooper Connolly could have had him caught and bowled. And this game would have had a very different complexion about it. But 50 for Smith. And the Sydney Sixers here well and truly on top now. 2 for 102. 12.2 overs gone. Smith goes to 53. And the Scorchers just don't have any answers at the moment. Full ball whipped off the pads. Over the top of everyone. And Steve Smith has gone ballistic here. He's got the 50. He's got the milestone. He's free to do whatever he pleases now. I took the chance. I took the risk. I backed the Scorchers. And they're getting pumped at the moment. Mind you, as we always say, do not judge a wicket until both teams have batted on it. It might just be a very good pitch. And that's way wide outside the offside. Richardson under the pump here. The Perth Scorchers in general under the pump. Bring in the mistakes. Uh, 13 off this over so far. This has been a monstrous power surge. The Scorchers under big pressure. Full ball. Fended away for just the single. That was well bowled. Much better bowling. But too little too late. They've got to get wickets now, the Scorchers. Lots of them. They have got to try and rip through this middle order. Because the Sixers are well on top here. 2 for 110. 2 balls left in this opening surge over. Still, Enriquez now just pushes this through the offside for another 4, through the covers. And there's still a ball to go. Whoa. What's that? 6, 10, 14, 15, 16, 18 off this over so far. This might be one of the best starts to the power plays, power surges that we've seen by any team. Final ball of the first surge over. Ball toss taken away for 6. Enriquez lifts it over long on for 6. A monstrous first over. 6, 12, 16, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. 24 off that over. It's 2 for 120. 13 overs gone. And the Sydney Sixers are well and truly on top now. Moses Enriquez and Stephen Smith, who was dropped on 31 to a tough chance, but dropped nonetheless. And the home side have just slow to start, slow out of the blocks. But they're well and truly getting a move along now. 9.23 is their run rate. Seven overs remaining. And they are set up now. The foundation has been built for a very big score. Behrendorff back into the attack. Slower ball. Smith just opens the face of the bat. Can't beat the men in the circle. And a dot ball. An unusual dot ball, it must be said. Dot balls are few and far between at the moment for the Scorchers. Drifting onto the legs. Too far onto the legs. And Smith just pulls this over the top, a short fine leg for 4. Well, this is getting embarrassing now for the Scorchers. They were into this game up to their necks, and they've let it slip. Even before the power surge overs, they had let this slip away. Some really poor bowling, it must be said. Slower ball. Right on the tippy toes. And Smith just plugs this out for a single. Still in the power surge. 3 more balls. Enriquez can still do some damage. 10 and over from here gets them 190. That is more than achievable. With these two out there, that is certainly an achievable target. Bangs this one in a little shorter. Behrendorff. Enriquez rocks onto the back foot. Direct hit, but they're safely home. Taking on the arm at mid-off there. They're taking every single run available to them at the moment, the Sixers. Very impressive stuff so far from the home side. 2 balls left. And they're looking at the ball again. Issues with the ball. Oh, well, it's hit, the ball's hit the little piece of wood in behind the stumps. And there is a big chunk taken out of that. All right, it's ball replacement time. So I'm going to use this opportunity to have a quick break. Well, that was incredible. That was the ball being thrown back in. Hits the piece of wood or whatever it is behind the stumps there. And it took a big, big gash out of the ball. Two for 127. 13.5 overs gone, and for the Scorchers, it's been a disastrous power surge. And the Sydney Sixers here on the way to a very big score, and they end with a 4. Too short, too far down the leg side, and Enriquez hooks this away down to the square leg boundary for 4. 11 from the second over of the surge, 35 in total from it. It's 2 for 131, 14 overs gone, and the Scorchers have got a lot of work to do now. A lot of work in the back end to try and pull this in, and it has to start with wickets. Incredible batting from Steve Smith and Moses Enriquez. Take nothing away from them, but it's really been some poor bowling. I don't think the Scorchers deserve to make the finals this year, to be honest. Jhye back into the attack. Slower ball, outside off. Smith with a swing and a miss. Dot balls are valuable, but they need dot balls and wickets. They have got to break this partnership. Because if these two bat through to the end, we are talking 200 plus. Smith chops this one up just short of the man at point. Back-to-back dot balls for the first time in probably about 4 or 5 overs at minimum. Better stuff here from Jhye. Maybe Jhye should have bowled one of the power surge overs. Easy to say that on reflection, though, isn't it? Wide outside off stump. Smith goes hard after it, gets the top edge. And third man runs around to cut it off. But they get an easy 2. 2 for 133. All right, so 8 and over gets them 177. I reckon they'll get 8 and over easily. They're traveling along at 9.17 already. 10 and over is probably more realistic the way these two are going. That gets them 188. Slower ball right in the slot. Smith lifts it over the top of the fence for 6. Out to deep point. Just right in the slot. Poor bowling. Just really poor bowling. Too much width. Right in the slot. Thank you very much. Steve Smith just elevates it through the offside for 6. Just dreadful bowling. Abysmal. So they're going to have to do it with the bat here. The Scorchers, the bowlers have let them down. Winning the bat flip and electing to field first. They've got to do better than that. As Smith drills it down the ground, it's cut off by the man at mid-off. And he's furious with himself, Smith, because that, I've got to tell you, that was right in the slot again. That was right in the swinging arc. And he knows that he's left that one out there. Steve Smith, that was back-to-back balls that should have been put away. Two for 140. Again, wide. Outside off stump. Enriquez this time. It's very defensive bowling, but it's really poor bowling as well. And that's an easy 2 for Enriquez, who goes to 41 of 20. Smith is 75 of 47. 11 off the over. And they are in a world of trouble here, the Scorchers. They are in a world of trouble. Their whole season at the moment is on life support. Who's going to step up and try and turn this thing around? 2 for 142, 15 overs gone. 9.47. The run rate for the Sydney Sixers. As Cooper Connolly's back out there and into the attack. Smith charges him, gets the top edge, and it lands safely. Well, it's all going his way at the moment, Smith. A top edge that lands in between two fielders. Just the single. Moses Enriquez, the captain, on strike. Connolly floats it up. And hard hit from Enriquez. Driven through the covers for 4. Oh, this is looking nasty now. This is looking terrifying for the Scorchers. Both Steve Smith and Enriquez, any shackles are broken well and truly now. And this is going to be a monster of a score. 15.3 overs gone. Even if they can control the back end of this to 6 and over, they still end up with 174. They need wickets. Lots and lots of wickets. Got to get a fresh man out there at the crease. Connolly with 2 balls left. Enriquez lifts this one, scoops it in the air, just wide of the man at cover. And they trot through for a single there. 2 for 148. Smith goes the reverse. Lifts it in the... Oh, he lifts it in the air. Square of the wicket for 6. Smith moves to 82. Cooper Connolly shakes his head. What can you do? He was dropped on 31. He's moved to 82. The Sydney Sixers are 4 runs away from the par score. Steve Smith and Moses Enriquez have taken full control of this match. On the back of some really poor bowling, it must be said. Not to take anything away from the 2 batsmen out there at the moment, but this has just been some disastrous bowling. Ashton Agar to bowl his last over. Enriquez just hangs the bat out. And he's beaten through the offside. A dot ball. Big total incoming here. Going at the current run rate, they get 191. Oh, he's beaten him. Hits the pad, but going down the leg side, there was a half-hearted thought of an appeal from Agar. Smith on 82. Smith steps across the stumps and sweeps it away into the stands over square leg for 6 more. Take it in the crowd. Unfortunately for the Scorchers, the crowd catch is not a wicket. Agar again drifts onto the pad. Smith realizes he probably should have let that go through, and it would have been a wide. Didn't need to play at it. It's amazing, isn't it? The difference in like a true international superstar. Like the Big Bash is full of quality players. But like Steve Smith is 89 or 51 and he's just so frustrated. He is so frustrated because he feels like I could have so much more. He's beaten him. A big appeal for LBW and is given. Enriquez is gone. Ashton Agar gets the breakthrough. This will surely get reviewed. It looks like it was going down leg side, but I think this will be umpire's call. And Enriquez has got to go. I think this will be umpire's call, and the umpire has given him out. Ashton Agar just got one to skid on a little faster. And Enriquez too late, chopping down on that one, and he is out for 46. The real Sixer fan, ahoy mate, Steve Smith century. Incoming, indeed. All right, let's have a look. Agar puts this one through, skids it on a little faster, beats the bat, and that's plum. That is plum skis. Unless he's got bat on this, bat is the only thing that will save Enriquez here. If there's no edge on that, he's absolutely plum, and there's no edge, he's gone. 46, and they've burnt their review. But I completely understand why they went for the review. Totally understandable. Pitching in line, impact in line, wickets hitting. The review's been lost. Enriquez is on his way, 46. It's 3 for 162. The Scorchers have finally broken through, but I'm afraid it's much too late. Much, much too late. The damage has been well and truly done. Smith, 89. Enriquez, 46. They have done the damage. It was a good wicket, but yes, it's just way, way too late. Behrendorff out to the crease. And Jhye, who is none for 41 off his 3 overs so far, is into bowl again. Yikes. Even with a maiden over here, Jhye's figures are abysmal tonight. And it won't be a maiden because Smith just cuts it away. Lots of protection out there on the fence for Smith. He takes the single. Smith goes to 90. Dorshus on strike. 3 overs to go. Well, 2.5 now. .5 overs to go. Dorshus on strike. Jhye has been terrible, and Dorshus has gone after him. He banged it in short, and Dorshus hooks him away for 6 runs. Rocks onto the back foot. Oh, poor Jhye has just been awful tonight. He really has been. That's another poor ball. Bangs it in short. Dorshus rocks backwards. Hooks it away for 6. Oh, what a monstrous score. They're going to get over 200 here, the Sixers. And again, right in the arc. And Dorshus goes again, pulls it over the leg side for 6. 200 plus incoming. They obviously have no other options to bowl. I mean, Jhye has not been on the money at all tonight. And he is now getting absolutely tonked again. A night to forget for him. Behrendorff has just come in and gone bang, bang, back-to-back 6s. Jhye, none for 54 off 3.3. And now it's a full toss. A no ball. Over. Waist height. And AJ Jhye is having a night to forget. None for 55 off 3.3. Might be one of the most disgraceful bowling performances I've ever seen. And unfortunately for the Scorchers, they've left probably the worst bowling performance they've ever had to a must-win game. Bangs it in short. Dorshus flat bats it. Pulls it away to the leg side. Just the 1 run. All right, here we go. Smith for a century. 2 balls left in the over. He's on 90. He could get them in 2 hits here. The way that Jhye's been bowling. Three for 177 off 17.4. Smith on 90. And no, he's not going to do anything risky. He wants that century. A slower ball down the leg side. He could have put it away. The real Sixer fan says, "Hey Dan, what's your favourite cricket shot?" I was always a very big leg side player. I would sweep or leg glance or square drive on the leg side. Full toss. Might be over waist height again. Dorshus has picked out the man in the outfield. So this is going to be a very interesting call from the umpire. The catch has been taken. But this could be above waist height again. There's conversation between the umpires and they're going to review this call. It was a full toss and it looked to be well above waist height. Dorshus. Oh, that's close. That's close. Dorshus has stepped back in the crease. He's been caught in the deep. He's kind of scooped it. He got under it a little bit too much there. I reckon this is out. I think they're going to get away with this one. Poor AJ Jhye. He needs a little bit of a reprieve, for crying out loud. Give the man a break. Give the man a break. Give him a wicket. It's very, very close. I've seen worse ones be let go this season. Worse ones have been let go. What the hell? Oh, it's been called! Well, AJ Jhye's night goes from bad to worse. He's got to take his hat and glasses off. His night has just got even worse. None for 57 or 3.5. It's now none for 59 because they ran the 2. He's none for 59 of 3.5 overs. Words cannot even describe how abysmal that is for bowling figures, even in a T20. None for 59 from one of their supposed frontline bowlers. The Sixers are 3 for 180. There's still 2 overs to go after this one. Oh, this is going to be a monster of a total. The Sydney Sixers coming for top spot. The real Sixers fan asks, is Mitchell Marsh still on for the Scorchers? I believe so. And again, it's a full toss and dropped. It's been dropped. Nothing going the way of the Scorchers here tonight. AJ Jhye, shocking figures and a dropped catch to boot. Unbelievable. 3 for 185, 18 overs gone. I'm going to have myself a quick break. We'll be right back. Now, the problem for the Scorchers here is, I think, as Steve Smith lifts this one over the offside down to the third man fence for 4. Now the problem for the Scorchers, they've got a batting side capable of chasing down a big score. But the problem for them is I don't think that the Sydney Sixers have any bowlers that are going to be this crap, right? There's nobody in the Sixers that is going to bowl this terribly. Full toss. Smith plays it away. It's over the fence. The fielder leaps in the air, catches it, throws it back in, and they come through for 3. Did they run 4 there? Smith's gone to 97. Either way, it was a full toss. He's pulled it away to the leg side. It was over the rope. The fielder has jumped over the rope and thrown it back in. An amazing effort. Saves the 6. An amazing effort there in the outfield. Smith comes back for the second to retain the strike. If he had somebody to toss that back into, that would have been one of the greatest catches of the season so far. All right, Smith's on 97. Richardson in again. Full toss again. Gets the under edge through to the keeper. And it's a dot ball. The bloody full tosses out the wazoo. They have just not got their length right tonight, the Scorchers. The bowling has been terrible. Oh, the catch down at third man in the New Zealand-Sri Lanka game. I did see that. Was it third man? Or was it deep square leg? I don't know. Full toss again. Smith plugs it down the ground. Running hard, coming back for a second. He moves to 99. Three for 193. The Sixers. Smith looking for his 100. The Sixers looking for 200. A personal milestone and a team milestone on the line here with 2 balls left. Richardson into Smith. It's wide outside off stump. And there it is. A century for Steve Smith. 100 or 58. 3 for 194. The home side well and truly on top here. He was dropped on 31. He has made them pay in the most brutal way possible. It was a tough chance, but it should have been taken. Dorshus to face the final ball. Well, maybe. The way that the Scorchers have been bowling, it'll probably be a wide or a no ball. But anyway, this should be the final ball of the innings. 3 for 194. Bangs it in short. Dorshus goes for it. Gets all of it. And it's in the stands. And they've brought up 200. We were talking about 158 being the par score. Batting first. And they've come up with 200. And they've got all the momentum. I reckon the Scorchers... Oh, there's still one more over. No, that's only the 19th over. Jesus. I thought that was the last over. Oh, God, they've got another over left. It gets worse for the Scorchers. My bad. Geez, can the Scorchers... Can the mercy rule apply? Is there a mercy rule in cricket? I think there should be. Because, wow. All right, still another over to go. Behrendorff to bowl it. Smith goes the reverse. It's a reverse pull. And he's hit it for 6, has he? You're kidding me. Poor bowling again. Behrendorff just bangs it in. Smith goes the reverse and just lifts it into the stands. Backs away, gives himself room, skies it. But this is going over the rope as well. 6 more. Wow, this is incredible. 3 for 212. Still 4 deliveries left. Mercy, mercy. Good Lord. Well, pretty much a must-win game. Excuse me, pretty much a must-win game for the Scorchers. And they have dished up this embarrassment. Smith, big swing and a miss. Behrendorff takes the pace off it. Incredible. 3 for 212. 3 deliveries left. Behrendorff, slower ball, right in the zone. Smith gets underneath it. It's right on the rope. The man on the outfield tosses it back in, and Steve Smith is gone. The massacre is over at last for the Scorchers. Steve Smith, 112 of 62. What an amazing innings. He was dropped on 31, and he took full advantage of the life. You cannot drop a batsman like Steve Smith and expect to not be punished. And, oh, he's touching the rope. This is going to be not out. His foot's touching the rope. This is not out. Steve Smith, this crowd is going to go absolutely ape. His foot's touching the rope and Steve Smith survives. It's not out. The fielder is touching the rope with his foot, and this is going to be not out. Steve Smith survives again. The pain and misery continues for the Scorchers. Not out. And 6 runs, if I'm not mistaken. Touching the rope. Yeah, 6 runs. 18 off this over so far. 2 deliveries to go. Oh, the pain just keeps on coming for the Scorchers tonight. Two balls left. He goes the reverse, and he misses it. And it's called by the square leg umpire. A wide for height. Yes, and fair enough. That's pretty high. That is pretty high above the head. Oh, wow. What can you say? The Perth Scorchers, pretty much a must-win game for them. And they have dished up one of the worst performances in Big Bash history. Smith dances down the pitch. They race back for 2. Poor fielding there. And Smith retains the strike. He moves to 120. The Sixers are 3 for 221. Final ball of the innings. And it's a half, well, it's not even a half volley. It's just short of the length. And Cooper Connolly fields it in the outfield. And they finish with a single. 3 for 221. The Sydney 222. The Sydney Sixers. 3 for 222. I mean, it's game over, right? Well, look, don't judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it. But I'm calling it early. It's over. It's all she wrote. The Sydney Sixers cannot possibly lose from here. And the bookmakers are in agreement at the moment. $1.12 the Sydney Sixers are paying. Perth Scorchers paying $6. I'll tell you what, just for a little bit of a laugh, if you've got some spare money, the Perth Scorchers at $6 might be a fun little bet. Just to see if they might be able to chase that down. Incredible. Who's going to win this game? Oh, the Sixers. 3 for 222. I'm sorry, that's not getting chased down. That's not getting chased down by the World 11. Take the best 11 batsmen in the world, and they're not chasing down 222. The real Sixer fan says, I think we have broke the record for most runs by a BBL team in the history of the league. Yeah, I can't speak for that. The real Sixers fan, I have no idea. Jordan Awesome says, Steve Smith is so good. Weren't they 84 for 3 after 12 overs? I can't remember, to be perfectly honest, but what I do remember is they were none for 16 off the opening 2 overs, and then they were 1 for 19 after 4 overs. They were struggling along at 6 and over, and then Enriques and Smith just went ballistic. Incredible. Oh, Smith got his 100, yes, and then some. He was dropped on 31, let's not forget. Dropped on 31 and then given a lifeline right at the very end there. Jhye is so bad. One of the worst bowling... Let's have a look at it again. AJ Jhye's bowling figures... There's something not right with AJ Jhye at the moment, but especially tonight. This is just abysmal. Andrew Jhye, 4 overs, none for 64. 4 overs, none for 64. Whew. Wow. 4 overs. None for 64. Incredible. Mind you, there's Ashton Agar was the pick of the bowlers. 4 overs. 4 overs, 1 for 27. Oh, Cooper Connolly did all right. 3 overs, 1 for 27 as well. But even Jhye Richardson was poor. 4 overs, none for 51. Behrendorff, 4 overs, 1 for 39. When do you see Behrendorff taken to task like that? But Andrew Jhye, 4 overs, none for 64. Wow. And this is the problem now for the Scorchers. I think they've got a good enough batting team that if the batting team fires, they would be capable of chasing down a big target. They would be. The problem is, I don't think, especially now with the benefit of having seen the way that the Scorchers bowled, they're going to know that they being the Sixers. The Sixers are going to know the best way to go about bowling this out. That's the problem now, because I don't think anybody in the Sixers is going to bowl as poorly as 4 overs, none for 64. Andrew Jhye. I mean, who in that Sydney Sixers bowling attack is going to be that bad? I don't think there is anybody. So that's the problem that they've got now, the Scorchers. I think if things went their way, they've got the batsmen capable of chasing this down. I just don't think the Sydney Sixers bowlers are going to give them anything even resembling an opportunity to chase it down. Unbelievable stuff, really. All right, Wasted World of Sports. Innings break. 3 for 222 is the score that's been set. Wow. We witnessed an amazing innings there from Steve Smith. 121 of 64. All right, I'm going to have a quick break. And we'll be back for the run chase right after this. Or however long it lasts, the run chase might be all up because they've got to go. They've got to go for it right from the word go. Basically, the Scorchers. They're not going to be able to rely on or hope for easing into an innings. They've pretty much got to go out of the gate. So it might be all over pretty quickly. We'll see. I'll be right back. All right. Wasted World of Sports, welcome back. Boy, what have we just witnessed? A massive, massive innings. All the pressure in the world now on the Scorchers, but they've brought it on themselves. Brought it on themselves. A terrible, terrible bowling display is all that can be said about that. Disgraceful performance in what's almost a must-win game for them as well. Cozza, ahoy there, mate. Yes, of course I remember. BBL just put Steve Smith back in form, says Barry Kane. Mez says, how many full tosses did they want to bowl before they learn? I know, right? One of the worst bowling performances I've ever seen from any team, especially the Scorchers. Mace, ahoy there. Welcome along. Mace asks who my favourite team is for the Brisbane Heat. And I've got a feeling it's going to be an equally bad night for the Brisbane Heat tonight up against the Adelaide Strikers. Of course, the Strikers are not exactly in the most impressive form, but I've just got a feeling. I get this nasty feeling in the pit of my stomach when I know that my team is about to just do something horrible. And I've just got that feeling tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong. But it's just this terrible feeling. Nello. Hang on, did I establish this last time? Nello or Neon Ello. I am yet to implement the average sip per over statistical calculator. Yeah, so I've just got a feeling that Chris Lynn, if Chris Lynn's even playing tonight, I haven't looked at the teams for the next game, but if Chris Lynn's playing tonight, I've just got a feeling that former Brisbane Heat players seem to do well against the Brisbane Heat. So it could be Chris Lynn's night tonight, which would be very unfortunate for my team. I don't think there's any chance of this getting chased down. I don't think there's any chance this gets chased down. No. Will Main reckon it's going to be Ben Duckett's night tomorrow. We will see. All right, Scorchers. Hang on, it says on the TV the Scorchers require 220 runs. 221 runs. I thought the Sixers got 222. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Well, here we go. The run chase about to get underway. Thoughts on the Hurricanes' chances of winning it all are very good. Very, very good. I think the Hurricanes are looking fantastic at the moment. Stars' chance of winning it all, very slim, but possible. They're on a bit of a roll at the moment, the Stars. So very, very slim, but possibility. They've found form at the right end of the year, but maybe they just left themselves a little bit too much to do. That will be their problem to try and overcome. Defunk, ahoy mate. I think this is the first score over 200 runs this season. I do believe it is. All right. Ben Allen to open the batting. They are going to need every single bit of, what's the word? They're going to need every single potential run out of Finn Allen tonight. Marsh 50 plus, here we go, says up the NRL. They're going to need all 50 plus of those as well. All right, Behrendorff to open the bowling. A monster of a run chase needed here. Oh, by the way, Defunk, I checked out earlier today some of the Super Smash. And what I saw, what very little of it I saw, was fantastic. I can't remember who was playing. Are the Aces a team? Anyway, there was some brilliant bowling in the final over to win the game. Dorshus is on point immediately. Now that, Perth Scorchers, is how you bowl. Dorshus on target, right on the money, in the slot from ball one. Whoops. Fanning and Allen to open the batting. Dorshus right in the zone, and Fanning through deep mid-wicket for 4. Now that's the start they needed. My scoreboard's gone haywire. Oh, well, add it to the list. My green screen's gone weird. And now the scoreboard's playing up. Hang on. I don't mind about the green screen because who's watching me anyway? We're all watching the game. So I can fix the green screen some other time. But we need the scoreboard, damn it. Some nice shape away from the left-hander. A misfield in the circle. And they should come back for 2. Fanning off to a good start. The hell? The scoreboard's on the fritz. Guided away. Can't beat the man in the circle. 6 off the over so far, though. None for 6. Oh, big swing and a miss at this. Fanning. Just on that 4th stump, outside off. And a dot ball for Dorshus. One ball left in this opening over. Drops it in short. Fanning backing away. Can't make contact. And the required run rate starting at 11.32. Wow, that is painful. That's got to be painful. That is incredible. And a good start for Dorshus. I mean, considering they don't have to do all that much, really, the Sydney Sixers. They just have to not bowl as badly as the Perth Scorchers did. Seems easy, right? Defunk says it's a good comp for sure. Maybe that's why there's less Kiwis in the BBL this year. Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. And it's not just the New Zealand T20 comp. There's a South African T20 comp. I mean, that's why we've seen... I don't know that there's any South Africans, actually, in the BBL this year. There's the Caribbean competition, so there's not as many West Indian players participating in BBL as there used to be. But ultimately, actually, there's a lot more Pommies. a lot more pommies this year, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, when other countries have their own T20 tournaments, obviously more of the players are going to stay in their home countries to play. But I think it's ultimately a good thing for Cricket Australia if there's largely Australian cricketers participating. I think that makes sense. Two singles to start this over. Kerr has got the ball. Wacko, 81. Ahoy there, mate. Smith got 100 and something. 121. Not out. Allen can't beat the circle on the offside. Three singles off the over so far. None for 9. Remember the Sixers? They were 1 for 19 at the end of the power play. Kerr to Fanning. Fanning lifts this square on the leg side. And it's gone all the way, has it? It was flat. He's hit it flat and hard and all the way for 6. Well, they need many of those today, the Scorchers. None for 15, and this is a decent start for Fanning anyway. Finn Allen hasn't really done anything. 2 balls left here for Kerr. And Fanning tries to go again. Beats fine on the leg side, and it's away for 4. This is the start they needed. None for 19. After 1.5, Mace asks if I reckon the Scorchers will make the finals this season. I described this as a must-win game for the Scorchers. Must-win. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that if they go on and lose this, doesn't mean that all hope is lost, but they will require some results. Other teams will need to lose. Destiny will be out of their own hands. They need to win this game to keep their destiny somewhat in their own control. You don't want to be getting in a situation where you're relying on other teams ahead of you to lose to give yourself a chance of getting through. None for 20 off the first 2 overs. It's a decent start here for the Scorchers, but a long, long way to go. Defunk says that the Kiwis just got smoked by Sri Lanka today. I saw the Sri Lankan innings. I did not see the run chase. Sri Lanka were 290, I think they got, yeah? A very decent start here. Remember, at the end of the power play, the Sixers were 1 for 19. So the Scorchers have already beaten that in the first 2 overs. That required run rate, they've got to make sure that doesn't get too far out of control. Slower ball from Edwards. Good shape back into the pads of the left-handed Fanning. And he just pushes this down to mid-on for a single. None for 21. Scorchers are winning, reckons Mace. Oh, well, 200 runs off 107 balls. We always say you can't judge a pitch until both teams have played on it, right? We always say that every stream. But, geez, I mean, that's a big chase That is a big score and a big chase. Try and run down. It would be a big, big effort, to say the least. Edwards right in the zone, and Allen lifts it over the top of mid-on. That's a great shot. Could this be the sort of situation that brings the best out of Finn Allen? 4 runs. That was a good shot. That might be Finn Allen's best shot of BBL 14 so far. He's not been in good form. They've got nothing to lose, really, the Scorchers. They've got nothing to lose. It could be a good situation for Allen, who goes down the ground again. Another straight drive lifts it over the top of mid-on. Mid-off, sorry. Oh, God. I'm so confused at the moment. They're off to a good start here. None for 29. 2.3 overs. Oh, they couldn't possibly, could they? It's a long way to go. There's a long, long way to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves in any capacity. Allen gets this off the top edge of the bat and just over the top of the man at mid-on. It was just out of reach, through the fingertips. And Finn Allen is given a life. Well, we saw what happened when Steve Smith was given a life. Now, I completely understand Finn Allen is no Steve Smith. But being given a life on this pitch, it's proved costly. Is that the little piece of luck that the Scorchers needed? None for 30. Slower ball. Fanning turns it away for no run. 10 from this over so far, keeping that required run rate around about 11 and over. I mean, that's crucial for the Scorchers. They don't want that to get out of hand. They pretty much have to keep that around about the 11 or 12. If it pushes out too far beyond 13, that will be very hard to chase down. So we will keep an eye on that required run rate. Edwards wide down the leg side, and it's called. Poor bowling. None for 31. 190 needed off 103 balls. And with some big hitting, that will come down very quickly. Down the leg side again, and this will be another wide. Back-to-back wides. And Edwards is not getting the line right. Well, these are valuable runs now for the Scorchers. Oguero, ahoy, mate. Sorry, I can't. There is just something about me saying your name. I have to, I don't know, I just naturally roll the R when I pronounce it. I'm so sorry for that. I just can't help myself. Cut away and can't beat the circle there at point. And a dot ball to finish the over. Finally finishes for Edwards. And it's none for 32. 3 overs gone. Well, they're on target. Scorchers are on target. Been a good start for them here. Oh, long way to go, but they couldn't possibly do it, could they? Surely. This is on KO/Foxtel exclusively. Evan? Yeah, no games on Channel 7 tonight for whatever reason. Sean Abbott into the attack, lifted away, square on the leg side. And it's gone for 4. There's no protection out there. And Finn Allen with another boundary. Do we dare to dream? Scorchers fans, do you dare to dream? Do you dare to believe? None for 36 after 3.1. They are off to the best possible start. Hashtag believe. Allen goes again. It's straight up in the air. Should be caught. The man at mid-off is ranging backwards. Plants himself under it. And Finn Allen goes. Moses on Rick as he did damage with the bat. He's now taken the catch. Sean Abbott gets the breakthrough. It's 1 for 36. Abbott gets the breakthrough. Well, I hate to be critical of the players, but a little unnecessary, that one from Finn Allen. Pushed his luck just a little bit too far. One for 36. And a big breakthrough, that one. 185 needed off 100 balls. Edged and gone. Hardy's out for a duck. Abbott's on a hat trick. It's falling apart for the Scorchers. 2 for 36, a golden duck. Sean Abbott doing the damage. Oh, such a good start. And now they've got a lot of work to do. Cameron, yes, we will be doing the Strikers Heat game. Absolutely. I'm a Brisbane Heat fan. I'm not going to miss any Brisbane Heat games. That's for sure. A golden duck and Sean Abbott on a hat trick. Big time pressure now. Well, even more than there already was on the Scorchers. Two for 36. Abbott on a hat trick. Let's go. Hat trick ball. Well bowled, turned away through the offside. Protection out there at third man. And it is Cooper Connolly who's in, and he's off the mark immediately. Two balls left here in the power play. Benjamin, Dad, great slog by Smith. A couple of lifelines, a little bit of luck, and he made the most out of all of it. Dropped on 31. Went on to make them pay. 121 not out. Who do I think will win tomorrow night? Stars, I reckon. Yeah, I think the Stars go on a run and push for the finals. Last ball of the power play. Connolly guides it down to third man. Just the single. Abbott starts with 2 for 7 off his first over. The Scorchers are 2 for 39, and suddenly things don't look so good. They got off to a great start. And I've just got a feeling those wickets will come back to haunt. So the required run rate, 11.38. All right, here we go. Daniel Vittori Jr. into the attack. Murphy. A little short, but gets away with it. Connolly can't cut it past the man at the circle. Drops it in short again. Connolly corrects the placement. But there's protection out there at deep point. Just the one run. Up the NRL. If you made a bet on Marsh and he's not playing, then that should void the bet. It would be a really, really disgraceful bookmaker that didn't void the bet on a player that doesn't even play. Fanning pulls this one away, just the single. I don't know. I didn't even realize he wasn't playing, to be honest. I've been waiting for him to come into bat. Yeah, I didn't even know that he wasn't. Punch down the ground for a single. 3 runs from this over so far. So I'm thinking that required run rate, if they can keep it around 11, 12 and over, they're in the game here, the Scorchers. If it drifts out beyond 13, game over. So these are crucial periods of play now. I reckon they'll call the surge pretty much immediately as well with those early wickets. It's Connolly again. Just cuts it away out to deep point for another single. 5 runs off that over. That's obviously nowhere near enough, but the key, we saw it with the Sixers batting. Now, the Scorchers' bowling was terrible. We realise this. We know this. The Scorchers' bowling was abysmal, but the key was the batsmen taking time to get themselves set, get themselves in, and then they started to hit big once they got their eye in. The Scorchers have done it a little bit differently. They've started with a hiss and a roar, got themselves on the front foot during the power play overs. I reckon they do just take it easy a little bit here. Let Connolly and Fanning just march along here till the 10th over. Call the surge immediately if these two are still out there, and you just never know. But that required run rate out to 11.93. I don't think they can let it go beyond 13. Might just be a bridge too far. Who's your bookie up the NRL? Who did you place the bet through, and what sort of bet was it? Was Mitch Marsh part of a multi, or was it just a single bet on Mitch Marsh? And who's your bookmaker? Sportsbet. Sportsbet is what I use. Feel free to follow me as well on the Sportsbet app. You can follow my feed on the app there. Wasted World of Sports. The avatar is a panda. So it's a single bet for Marsh 50 plus. You will surely get that back. Sportsbet are pretty good with that. It was a bet just on Mitchell Marsh. He hasn't played. As this bounces just short of the man at deep point, I'm fairly sure you'll get that wager back up the NRL. Should be all good. Erica Eureka Radio Fire, ahoy! How are you? Now, Erica Eureka Radio Fire, as an American, you probably have no idea what this is that we're following along with, but it's basically our version of baseball, even though we have baseball as well. Actually, funnily enough, I've got a baseball right next to me, which is very see-through here because of the green screen. All right, that confirms that there is something horribly up with my green screen tonight. If it is chopping out white, this baseball is white, and it is making it transparent. I don't know what is up with my green screen tonight. 12.2, the required run rate now. It continues to drift out. Oh, Smith gets man of the match, surely. Even if by some miracle they lose this. Finn Allen got 15, I'm pretty sure. 15. Jamar Chase. I'm fairly certain. Edwards, 2 from the over so far. It's been a good one. Connolly slashes him away through the offside, through the covers for 4. A good shot, that one, and a much-needed boundary. Just keeping that required run rate under wraps a little bit. Finn Allen, 15 of 7 deliveries. 3 boundaries in that 7, though. 3 boundaries in that 7, but still, Aaron Hardy's the disappointing one. Aaron Hardy, a golden duck, continuing his poor run of form in the BBL 14, letting the team down big time. The required run rate now 12.2. My prediction was they can't let that go out beyond 13, if at all possible. Paddy Hearn, thank you very much for the rose. Cheers, mate. As Davies comes into the bowling attack, Fanning sweeps him away. And just the single. Oh, it happens all the time up the NRL. It's all good, mate. It happens all the time. BBL, in BBL, the teams don't have to be finalised until they take the bat flip, which is like 10 minutes before the game starts. But the betting markets are open for days in the lead up. I've quite often put bets on that multis that include players that don't end up playing. You'll be fine. I can't guarantee it, of course. I can't guarantee it, but I would say with 99.9% certainty, based on experiences of my own, they will refund that bet since Mitchell Marsh didn't play. If it's just Mitchell Marsh only, a straight bet just on him, they will almost certainly return that. If it was part of a multi, they usually return the whole multi, but sometimes they'll just void that particular leg and the rest of the multi stands. But Sportsbet are usually pretty good with that. As Cooper Connolly sweeps this one fine, gets it just over the top of the man there at short fine leg and away to the fence for 4. And a much-needed boundary as well. The Scorchers are just continuing to tick along nicely here. Connolly rocks back in the crease, pulls it away. One bounce to the man out at deep square leg. Just the one run. Couldn't pick the gap. But yeah, I really don't know what's up with the green screen tonight. It's bloody chopping half my face off. It's cutting. It's never cut out white before. It's never chopped out white. I don't understand. It's a baseball. Why is a white baseball being eliminated by the green screen filter? Green. Anyway, bizarre. It's being weird tonight. The whole thing. Chance of a run out there for the Sixers. It was a tight one, but could have been a wicket. End of the over. 7 gone. It's 2 for 62. And they're just in recovery mode here, the Scorchers, and they're doing it nicely. Fanning is 27 of 20, and Cooper, Youngblood, Connolly, 17. Who's in next for the Scorchers? It's looking like the next batsman will be Ashton Turner. Ashton Turner, Nick Hobson, Ashton Agar. Oh, geez, they don't have a strong batting lineup, do they? Not a whole lot of depth in that batting lineup. This is a little concerning. Those wickets early just became a lot more concerning. Fanning on strike. Dorshus back into the attack. Wide, outside off, way wide. It should be called as such and is a wide. Western World of Sports live on YouTube, live on TikTok. We have been allowed back on Twitch. I still don't even know why we got banned off Twitch in the first place, and even Twitch don't know, as it transpires. And live on Facebook. Dorshus in again. Fanning steps over to the offside, lifts it square of the wicket on the leg side, and that's a 6 over square leg. Fanning knew exactly where Dorshus was bowling that one, and he stepped across the stumps and just helped it on its way over the leg side for 6. The required run rates come back down under 12, and they're just maintaining it nicely at the moment, the Scorchers, but oh, those wickets. Those wickets could be key. I have no faith in the batting to come for the Scorchers here tonight. Two for 69, 7.1 overs gone, 152 needed of 77 balls. Dorshus under pressure here, 7 off the first delivery, basically. The first legal ball. Fanning steps across the stumps again, gives himself some room. Can't beat the man out there at long leg. Races around and cuts it off, just a single. Yeah, no Mitch Marsh tonight, Will Main, for some reason. We don't really know why. Slower ball, Connolly waits for it. Just chops it away, out to point for a single. 2 for 71. 7.3 overs gone. Three balls left. Fanning cuts it away. Just the single. They've got that protection out there. Mads says Ian Healy was sitting in front of me for a bit. Very nice. I've got Ian Healy's autograph somewhere. I did keep all my autograph books from when I was little. They're all out there somewhere. Full ball. Connolly slightly falls as he fends this one away. Digs it out. Better bowling there from Dorcius. Matt, thank you very much for the rose. That's 2 roses tonight. One from Paddy Hearn, one from Matt. Michelle, ahoy there. Dorcius in for the final ball. Slower ball outside off, and Connolly whips this away, gets onto the back foot, and just plugs it through the offside for 4. Brilliant shot there from Youngblood. And that was a good over, that one. 14 runs from it, actually. 14 from the over. And they're just keeping that required run rate in check. Cooper, Youngblood, Connolly, I think he becomes the key tonight. He needs to play the Stephen Smith role. End of the over. 8 overs gone. I'll be right back. Daniel Vettori Jr. back into bowl. Connolly steps back, gives himself some room, lifts it square at the wicket on the offside, and it goes all the way. Cooper, Youngblood, Connolly. Oh, up the NRL. 2 donuts. Thank you so much, sir. I love donuts. And another one. I love donuts as much as Homer Simpson. I'm not going to lie. Should have been a police officer, really, shouldn't I? Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, cheers. Up the NRL. 8 runs from this over so far. Cooper Connolly, 29 off 19. Fanning, 36 off 24. They're not going to go away easily here, the Scorchers. 2 for 84. More donuts and more roses. Oh, cheers up the NRL. Appreciate you, mate. And Murphy in again. 9 off this over. They come back for 2. Dangerous. If it was a better throw, it would have been trouble. But they've run hard, pushed back for the 2. Well run there. This is the key partnership. This has to be the Scorchers version of Enriquez and Smith. In very similar circumstances. End of the over. It was a poor one for Daniel Vettori Jr. Scorchers 2 for 88. 9 overs gone. And the required run rate, 12.09. They've just maintained it. They have not let it get completely out of hand. And that's what we were talking about being the key. The clear key to this innings is just keeping that required run rate under 13. Certainly not letting it drift out beyond 13 and get up towards 14. Oh, Jesus. Nearly broke my phone. All right, here's a big over. Sean Abbott back into the attack. He's 2 for 7 off his first over. And he's wide outside off stump. Connolly slashes at it, and it's called a wide. This is a big over, this one. If Abbott can break through, both batsmen are set. Connolly 32 of 21, Fanning 37 of 25. A breakthrough here would really wreak havoc, because I'm sure they're planning on taking the surge immediately. Connolly slashes at it. Just short of... Oh, is it taken? No, it's just short of Jordan Silk. Oh, it bounces millimetres in front of him. Jordan Silk out there at point. diving forward, saves a boundary. Millimeters short of an amazing catch it would have been from Jordan Silk. Oh, that was close to a big breakthrough. I would just see him off. I really would. I would honestly just see Sean Abbott off here. Take the singles, yes, but put the big hit in the bank. Put the Q in the rack in terms of big hits. Thank you very much there. Up the NRL. More donuts. Rosa and Rose. And Biker Max, thank you very much for the follow. Connolly, though, he's not going to put the Q in the rack, and he's picked out Silk this time. That's a massive wicket. Oh, Cooper Connolly, you've got to be smarter than that, mate. He's a young player. He needed to keep a cool head there. That's a big wicket, and that's probably the game. Look, he'll learn. He'll get better with experience, but that shot was just not on. It was unnecessary, and he has hit it straight down the throat of Jordan Silk. 1 over away from the power surge, and then he would have been able to play a shot like that. They are in big, big trouble now. The Scorchers were doing so well. And Cooper Connolly, a rush of blood to the head. And he's thrown his wicket away. And have they just... It was always going to be tough, but have they now just thrown the game away? Unbelievable. Oh, up the NRL with Gamer 2025. Whatever that is. Oh, and Hand Hearts. They're coming through thick and fast. Up the NRL, I'm certain, has officially just become our biggest gifter. And I will drink to that. Cheers. Up the NRL. Well, that was a big wicket. That was a big moment in the game. That was probably the game, to be perfectly honest. A rush of blood there from Connolly. Did not need to do that. They suckered him into it, and he fell for it. Hook, line, sinker. Done and dusted. Ashton Turner now comes out to the crease. Any thought that they had of taking the power surge is now gone, you would think, for a couple of overs, as Turner's got to get himself set. A giraffe. A giraffe now. Very nice. How many different things are there to send on TikTok? Gamer 2025, hand hearts, hearts, roses, giraffes, donuts. Abbott to Turner. Opens the face of the bat, guides it down to third man for a single. Sean Abbott, 3 for 11 off 1.4 overs. He's done all the damage. I think they still have to take the surge pretty much immediately. Damien Apps. How about Steve Smith, who rocks up like it's 4th grade? Yeah, well, yes, I mean, he did also get a life on 31. But he took full advantage of it, didn't he? Took full advantage of it and then some. D-Mac. Sixers win and you win $400. Very nice. Three for 93. 9.5 overs gone. The required run rate now just 12.59. Turner opens the face. Paddy Hearn says, do I still reckon Smith will get man of the match with Abbott getting 3 wickets? Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Abbott would pretty much have to get 6 or 7, I think, for a bowler to overtake a batsman for man of the match. It's very, very hard for a bowler to overtake a batsman, especially a century-making batsman, when it comes to... It's a batsman's game, what can we say? Cricket's a batsman's game when it comes to the highlight reels and awards and whatnot. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but he definitely needs a few more than 3. All right, good, because you've got 100 on Smith getting man of the match. Nice. The only thing that could ruin Stephen Smith getting man of the match is if Fanning goes on and gets 150 and wins the game for the Scorchers. Even then, I dare say they would still give it to Smith, to be perfectly honest. Kerr back in for his second over. Starts with a dot. Slower ball. Turned away to the offside for a single. Three for 95. 10.2 gone. The required run rate now over 13. For the first time. The first time in this run chase. It's drifted out over 13. They've got to take the power surge. They have to. It can't get too far beyond this. As Fanning charges, gets a top edge. 2 players converge on it, and it lands between both of them. And they've come back for a second run. Fanning taking his chance for only 2 runs there. That is a high-risk, low-reward scenario. Up the NRL, sending through another couple of roses. Cheers, mate. Picked the gap perfectly, I suppose you could say there. Fanning now lifts it up, scoops it in the air, straight down the ground for an easy catch at mid-off. Kerr gets the wicket. Fanning's on his way, 41 of 28, and the Scorchers are done and dusted here. It's going to be all over in a few overs. Well, maybe more than a few overs, but... Well, the 2 set batsmen, Cooper Connolly and Fanning, have thrown their wickets away to very, very soft dismissals, it must be said. 2 very, very soft dismissals. And I think the Scorchers, honestly, I think the Scorchers are done now. I think the Scorchers season is over. They will be relying heavily on other teams screwing up. And that's never a good position to be in. You never want to get into a scenario where you need teams above you to lose to have any chance of making it through. And that is the situation that the Scorchers find themselves in now, as Nick Hobson comes out to the crease. Hobson punches it down past mid-on for a single, off the mark immediately. And they've got 2 fresh batsmen out at the crease, but, I mean, they've got no choice now. The required run rate is creeping up towards 14 and over. They have to take the surge. They have to. They've got no choice now. It'll just be sheer stupidity if they leave it any longer than this. Turner lifts it over the offside, just the one. But the Sydney Sixers, they'll be back on top. And the Scorchers, an uphill battle. just to make the playoffs now. It's been poor bowling and it's been poor batting too, really. Ultimately, Cooper Connolly and Fanning were doing okay, but they both just threw their wickets away. They just threw the wickets away so casually. Ball for 99. And they have not taken the surge. Well, I can't understand this. That required run rate. And Turner pulls this away square. And it gets it all the way for 6. Well, they need about 100 more of those. The real Sixers fan says the Sixers didn't get the surge right. Jeez. Didn't they get like none for 34 or something off their surge? I think they got it absolutely perfect as Turner scoops this over the offside. In between the infield and outfield for a single. I think you're being a little bit harsh there, real Sixers fan, to say that the Sixers didn't get the surge right. I'm fairly certain, if memory serves me correctly, they were none for 34 off their surge overs. And if that was not getting it right, I would hate to see what happened if they did. 7 off this over so far. And just a little feather at this from Hobson. He misses it. I'm pretty sure it was like 24 off the first one and then 10 off the second one. Real Sixers fan. But I could be mistaken. Fairly certain that was the case, though. It was 20 plus in the first over and then 10 in the second. Off the top edge. And the player down at third man does not attack the ball. Doesn't need to, really. Lets it come to him on the bounce. And just a single. The required run rate, 13.68. But it's the wickets in hand. That's the problem now for the Scorchers. Not just the required run rate, but the wickets in hand. Not a whole lot of batting left in the dugout. Edwards with 2 left. Slower ball. And they take a quick single, challenging the man at mid-on to hit the stumps. Nine off the over. They can't. We said at the top of the run chase, they can't let this required runs drift out to 14 and over. They can't die wondering here, the Scorchers. Their season is on the line. They absolutely must call the power surge the next over. Get Abbott back into the bowling attack. Surely the Sixers will turn. They've got the runs to play with to turn to Abbott. But at least you're drawing that extra over out of him. End of the over for 109. The trouble is, like, the Scorchers are going along at 9.13 and over. Under normal circumstances, 9.13 and over is very good going. Under normal circumstances, this is a good score. Incredible, really, isn't it? Four for 109, 12 overs gone. 112 needed off the last 8 overs. Jeez, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine they'll even bat these overs out, to be honest. They've got to go for it, though. They've got to go down swinging. And the power surge has been taken. The power surge has been taken. And Behrendorff into the attack. Smart move, actually. Hold Sean Abbott back. If Dorshus gets a tonking here, they can bring Abbott in and shut things down immediately. Dorshus to Hobson. Dot ball to start. The perfect start for the Sixers. Oh. Brisbane Heat have won the bat flip and they will bowl first. All right. I reckon advantage Heat then in that next one. Let's see what the bookmakers are saying after the bat flip. Hobson tries to drive this one down the ground. He edges it back between his legs. All right. Whoopsie. I'm going to jump on the Heat. Let's jump on the Brisbane Heat. I'm going to back my own team. Hopefully they won't let me down. I'd already tipped the Heat. There you go. Didn't realize that. I honestly thought I'd tipped the Strikers. Big bat flip to win, I reckon, for the Heat in the next game. Just one run so far off the opening two balls. And another single. Well, this is good bowling from Dorshus. Tyler, thank you very much for the rose. And another 8 roses and a little ghost from up the NRL. Cheers. And thank you for the kind words, Will Main. 3 balls left here in this opening surge over. Dorshus bangs it in short. Hobson bangs it back down the ground. A couple of bounces and across the rope for a 4. A much needed 4. But they need a lot more of them. That was a baseball swing, that was. That was a legitimate baseball swing. Stepping towards the ball. Straight through at chest height. Lifts this one over the top of mid-on for another boundary. Well, that's more like it. $102 needed or 43. The required run rate has drifted out beyond 14. Thoughts on Bo Webster, a mate of yours. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, solid debut with the bat. We're in the field, a big presence in the field. Hobson skewers off the top edge of the bat. Should be taken. It is. Hobson's gone. If it wasn't over already, it certainly is now. The 5th wicket falls. Yeah, cheers, Tyler. Enjoy dinner. What's on the menu? And they just left themselves too much to do, the Scorchers. Connolly and Fanning, inexperience, throwing their wickets away. 10 runs from the over. Oh, a Palmer. Very nice. Enjoy. The real Sixer fan says Dan just ate some Italian. Hang on, you did? Or you're suggesting I did? I actually had Korean before the stream. All right. The wicket falls. The end of the first power surge over. They can hold Abbott back now, just in case, for whatever reason, they need some protection at the back end. Be right back. Strikers and the Heat coming up next. The Heat won the bat flip, elected to field. And Sean Abbott is bowling the second of the surge overs. Starts with a dot, but this one's turned off the hips for 4 runs. Abbott just didn't quite get that one right. And in the BBL, yeah, the Brisbane Heat, after that bat flip, have just become slight favourites. Slight favourites there. Short of the length, and Turner pulls it away. Another boundary. You're all good up the NRL. I appreciate all of that, mate. Pulled away into the gap, square of the wicket on the leg side. Oh, look, you won't get that back till the game's over up the NRL. It won't be till after the game's finished. Turner backs away, chops it down onto his own pads. And they come through for a single. Nine from this over so far. That required run rate, 14.68. They have not taken anywhere near enough value out of this power surge. Ashton Agar to face his first ball. Edges it, gone. Abbott gets another one. 4 wickets for Abbott. 6 for 128. Another wicket falls for the Scorchers as they watch their season crumble before their very eyes. One of the worst performances they've ever displayed. And they saved it for a must-win game. Six for 128, another one falls. .93 needed off 37 balls. The required run rate up over 15. And they're out of batsmen. The tail's exposed. Turner's got to try and do it all on his own. He's got to do a Michael Bevan. Man of the match, Steve Smith. Great bowling performance from Abbott. But I can't imagine that anything will overtake Steve Smith for man of the match here. Even a fifer. Abbott on target again. 6 for 129, 14 overs gone. And really, all that the Scorchers can hope for here is they just don't get bowled out. And it was the Sydney Sixers. The power surge for the Scorchers, 2 for 20. The Sixers, their power surge was something like none for 34. A much, much better power surge for the Sixers. Pulled away for 4. I still think Smith absolutely will still be player of the match. He got 121 or 58 balls. Like, Sean Abbott, the difference was the Sixers were under the pump. The Sixers were on the back foot, and it was Enriques and Smith who turned the game on its head. This run chase hasn't really been turned on its head by Sean Abbott. He's taken most of the wickets, but it was never really in doubt. There was never any threat. So I can't imagine a scenario. Where Smith loses the man of the match. Paddy Hearn, my team of the Brisbane Heat, coming up next. It's going to be a very different stream, this next one, because I get very emotional. And I am very, very critical of my own team. You think I've been harsh on some of the players in this game? Boy, I am the biggest critic of my own team. It's funny because I support them, but I give them zero slack. I give them zero slack at all. It is very much over for the Scorchers fans, Dylan. Very much. The required run rate now, 15.45. I said that if it got over 13 at any point that it was over. It's been over 13 now for the past few overs. And for the Scorchers, this could very well be their season done. They might have to rely on other results to go their way now to make the finals. On the plus side for the Scorchers in terms of making the finals, for Scorchers fans, the teams above them, I do believe... Oh, excuse me. I do believe the teams above them do have to play each other a few times in the remaining games, if I'm not mistaken. So there is that little positive, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them. Kerr with the final ball here, draws the top edge from Turner, and it's over the top of short third man. And they run through for a second. 6 for 140, 15 overs gone. .81 runs required, 16.2 is the run rate required. It would be the miracle of all miracles from here. It really would be. I mean, I'm disappointed, honestly, not because I go for either one of these teams. I'm disappointed because I thought it would be a closer game than this. I really thought this would be a flip of the coin. I thought this was a true 50-50 game. As it transpires, it's been about a 70-30 game in favour of the Sixers. Spores turns this off the pads, and he finds a gap out there at long leg for 4. Edwards, a boundary off the first ball. Slower one. Pulled away again from Spores. Won't find the gap on this occasion. They just come through for the one. Brings Turner back on strike. 76 needed off 28 balls. Turner will probably have to take a majority of the strike here. Oh, Jesus. I've accidentally taken a photo of myself. That was bizarre. Nice shot here. Turned away off the pads again. Well fielded by Dorcius. Saves the boundary. Keeps it down to 2 runs. Edwards 7 off this over. 74 needed off 27. Full toss. Turner lifts it away on the leg side into the gap, and it gets to the boundary for 4. Turner moves to 33. $11 off this over. 2 balls to go. 2 full there and drifting onto the legs. And that's just gift runs, but they can get away with it a little bit here. The Scorchers, the Sixers. They've got the luxury of a big, big lead to get away with some loose deliveries. Well, that's right in the arc. A diving effort from Silk in the outfield. And they come back for 2. Silk can't quite get to it. But Turner, he'll feel like he's missed out there. That was right there in the slot. And he'll feel like he's missed out on a 6 here. Silk doing extremely well. Into the hands and then pops out. Oh, unlucky. That would have been a great catch. In and out. Final ball of the over. They need a 6 here. The Scorchers. Slower ball, full. Plugged back down the ground, just the 1. Well, they might push for 2. They do. Come back for the second. And that means Spores will be on strike for the next over. They kind of need Turner on strike for a majority of these. Six for 155. 66 runs needed off the last 4 overs. What a monumental effort it would be. Really. A monstrous effort if somehow they managed to pull this off. Dorcius in to bowl his last. $66 off 24. Dorcius drops it in short, and Spores tries to pull this away to the leg side from outside off. And it's through for a dot ball. He's just got to get Turner on strike. Dorcius bowling well. Spores steps over to the leg side to give himself some room, and it lands it just in between the 2 fielders, and they race back for a second. He didn't get that anywhere near out of the middle of the bat. Dorcius in again. Swing and a miss, and it's through everybody. And it beats the keeper. It's away for 4. 4 buys. 60 runs off 21 balls. They need Turner on strike. I don't understand for the Scorchers. I mean, it's a... It'll be a big effort either way, but surely the only way they get there is with Turner on strike. Spores lifts this over the infield. And they take the single, and Turner, 4 deliveries into the over, will face his first ball. The big moment of the game was Cooper Connolly dropping Steve Smith in a tough chance, but dropping Steve Smith on 31. How costly that moment was as they come back for 2 straight down the ground. It won't be enough. 18 runs and over. That's what's required. But yes, Steve Smith dropped on 31, went on to make 121 not out. It was a tough chance, but it was hit hard straight back at Connolly. Chest height. He got his hands up. Probably should have been taken. Turner thumps this straight down the ground. Very straight. It'll be cut off. And they've come back for a second. Oh, they've come back for 3. Well run. Either that or they settled for 1. Oh, no, they came back for 2. They came back for 2. It means Turner will be off strike. 55 needed off 18. So yeah, poor Cooper Connolly. It is, look, it's certainly not his fault by any stretch of the imagination. Really, really poor bowling all around from the Scorchers tonight. But what a big moment it was. And then he threw his wicket away with the bat. 55 off 18. Surely won't be done. You would have to think. Spores backs away, lifts this over the offside for 6. Well, they need pretty much every single ball now needs to be one of those. Pretty much every ball from here on in needs to be one of those for the Scorchers. .49 off 17. Backs away, pulls it to the onside. Protection out there, just the single. Turner on strike. Importantly, this is Abbott's last over. This is Sean Abbott's last over. So who will bowl the last 2? The partnership is 45 off 21. Turner backs away, lifts it down the ground. 1 bounce and into the sight screen for 4. 11 off this over. 3 balls left. Turner just hasn't faced enough of the strike. This is what he's capable of. But he hasn't taken enough balls here at the back end. 6 for 177. 44 or 15. Goes for it. Gets it off the top edge. It's going all the way. It's 6 more runs. Oh, it couldn't possibly, could it? It couldn't possibly. 17 off this over. Clearly the worst of Abbott so far tonight. Well, there goes any chance of Abbott stealing man of the match from Steve Smith. 6 for 183, 38 runs needed. And 50 for Turner, by the way. Snuck that one through. Abbott follows him to the leg side, lifts it up for 2 more. 36 needed off 13. Who's going to bowl the last 2 overs? Final ball of the over. Abbott to Turner. Backs away again, lifts it to the offside. Doesn't find the gap, picks out the man. And it will just be a single to finish. 35 needed off the last 2 overs. Turner retains the strike. Turner retains the strike, crucially, perhaps, for the Scorchers. Who is going to bowl here for the Sixers? Dawshus is bowled out. Abbott is bowled out. Who do they turn to? Fake Slim Shady, ahoy mate. Yes, Smith basically won this for the Sixers with those last 3 overs. 35 needed off 12. Can Turner pull off something to replicate it? Kerr, 1 for 30 off his 3 so far. Into bowl the second last over. Wide outside off. Turner bangs it away into the gap, but it's going to be fielded by Enriquez. They come back for 2. Turner retains the strike. And keep an eye on the over rate as well. There might be a fielder, an extra fielder, up inside the circle for the last over. I'm not sure if the Sixers are on top of their over rate here. Kerr racing back to his mark suggests to me that they're possibly on the brink. Ball toss wide outside off stump, just a single. Well bowled. Single down to long on. And Kerr again racing back to the mark. They're obviously behind the over rate. 32 needed off 10. They need to pull out some boundaries here. Spores back on strike. Ball outside off, and it's a swing and a miss, and it's a dot ball. Kerr bowling well. Well bowled. Snuffing out any thoughts of a miracle with 3 balls left. It needs to be 3 sixes. It won't be. It's hit along the ground. Can't beat the man in the circle. Just a single. 31 needed off 8. We got the Heat versus the Sixers coming up next. They're an over behind. That's why. Okay. There is going to be an extra fielder inside the circle for the last over, but if they need... they've got to hit 2 sixes here, basically. Turner advances down the pitch, gets the top edge, and it races away for 4. 27 off 7. (27 off 7). How costly those early wickets. Kerr with the last ball. A 6. It's a full toss. Edged away for 4. He looks to the umpires for the call of no ball. Oh, he's not going to get it. That was surely close to above waist height. Kerr's got away with it. 23 runs needed off the last over. They're behind their over rate. There's going to be an extra man inside the circle, and it's going to be the captain bringing himself on, Moses Enriquez. Moses Enriquez into bowl. And there will be an extra man in the circle. They are behind their bowling rate. 23 needed off 6 balls. Spores on strike. Spores backs away. It's a slower ball. And he pulls it away straight to the man out there, Jordan Silk. But it's a single. But crucially, Turner is back on strike. 22 needed of 5 balls. It's got to be all boundaries now. It has to be all boundaries. 5 balls remaining, 22 runs required. How crucial. Cooper Connolly and Fanning, the 2-set batsmen, threw their wickets away. This could have looked so different for the Scorchers. 22 from 5. Enriquez in. Down the leg side, swing and a miss. They come through for a leg bye. Well, that's silly. That's silly. Turner's going to be the one to do this if anyone's going to do it. 21 or 4 or 22 or 5 is irrelevant. They've come through for the single. Spores on strike, 21 or 4. Charges, Enriquez lifts him through the gap for 4. 17 or 3. It's got to be 3 sixes now. It's got to be all sixes. 17 or 3. Big delivery, this one. Moses Enriquez. They need 3 sixes. It's gone straight up in the air. And Josh Philippe's under it. Calls everyone off. And the man with the gloves takes the catch. And that will be the win. 17 needed off 2. And the Sydney Sixers have got the win, surely. 7 for 204, though. What a chase. What an attempt at chase it's been. Jhye Richardson out to bat. 17 off 2 balls. Enriquez, slower ball. Ripped away to the leg side, square of the wicket for 1. Final ball of the game. 16 runs needed to win. Turner on strike. And the Scorchers, well, the Sixers go to the top of the table. The Scorchers, their finals chances are on life support. Full toss, driven down the ground. Just the single. Well bowled for Moses Enriquez. The Sydney Sixers win. And I've got to get ready for the next stream. Strikers versus the Heat coming up next. I'll start a new stream, basically. I'll start a new stream for both YouTube and TikTok. Thank you so much for your company here on this one. A new stream coming up for Strikers versus the Heat right after this. Cheers. I've got to get it done quickly.